Hey, I have the pleasure of being here with Mr. Grant Cardone himself. And Grant, it's a pleasure. We have a bunch of mutual friends, and I just appreciate you being here. Thanks for taking the time.
No, thank you, Cody. I hope your audience gets to see the stuff that we were just talking about, because that's always the best stuff.
Well, here's the thing, Grant. I don't even have a podcast.
You know what, make sure you flip it and play all that stuff at the end. Okay.
Yeah.
Of this interview.
We'll do it. So make a note of that, team. So Grant and I covered some great stuff as far as my model and what we do. And Grant, man, I appreciate how vulnerable you were. But so I don't even have a podcast, Grant. I don't promote other people's offers. I don't do it.
Okay. Yeah.
But we have some mutual friends, and I heard about what you have coming up as far as your Unbreakable Challenge. And quite frankly, dude, I'm not gonna bullshit you here. Just to be frank, you're Grant Cardone, man. So if there's a way that we can connect and build a relationship, and I can be comfortable promoting something that I think truly will serve my audience, man, I kill a couple birds with one stone. So with that,
let me just say, Cody, like for the audience, for you guys that are watching right now, you're like, dude, I wish I was doing this interview, because I can help Cody's business. Okay. And Cody can help my business. And this is the point of having podcasts or doing interviews and collaborative marketing. Collaborative marketing is not an ad. It is the easiest thing to do. I wish I'd have known this, Cody, like 10 years ago. I wouldn't, because I would be much bigger than I am. We have $4 billion worth of real estate today that's been marked down from a year ago, by the way, from 5 billion. We've already marked it down.
Yeah.
And we got 16 companies that are probably worth $3 billion if we took it to the marketplace. We do about $150 million in annual revenue. And I'm saying all that because when you collaborate with other people, what you do is you start expanding through groups, and you start hitting audiences. And when you're unlikable like I am, or unknowable like I am, like most of the world doesn't even know who I am. And the people that do get to know me, the first time they know me, they're like, yeah, that's not my cup of tea. But when I collaborate with Cody, and all of a sudden Cody's like, oh, Cody's like the Catholic priest that gives me the sign of the cross. He's like, the guy's all right, no matter what you think, or I'm walking in the country club with you, or we're going into whatever place, and you're like, and then people are going to grab you, Cody, and say, oh, dude, you're with him. Is he all right? And then you're like, yeah, man. And so you give me kind of the blessing, right? Everybody should be doing this, is my point. In 2023, this is the best hack on planet Earth, and the only way to build a network. You do not build it with the people you know, you build it with the people you have not yet met. So Cody, I appreciate you taking time and spending time, a minute with me. And I know you have a goal to give away $250 million.
Yes, sir.
Dude, yes, I can help you do that. I've already raised $110 million for charities. I might be at 112 right now, actually. But when I hear somebody that wants to give away 250 million, I guarantee you I can help you do that.
I love that. And to be clear, that's 250 million of my own money, right? Like that's my goal. And so, Grant, man, you just were very transparent in two ways with what you just said. One, I appreciated that you recognized that you had to write down the value of your portfolio. Is that, people that have shared with me their net worth over the last several years, okay? And the fact we all know what's happened to cap rates. No one wants to acknowledge what's happened to their net worth. The reality is cap rates changing has affected your net worth or your portfolio value. And so I appreciate you sharing that. Two is you just brought up about, me being the Catholic priest or blessing you or whatever you said. Like, dude, I'll be very transparent with you. I didn't know what to think of you, right? Like because I've never spent time with you personally. And I've told numerous people, hey, I can't judge Grant Cardone because I don't know Grant Cardone, right?
Yeah, but you were judging me though.
But I will tell you, brother, I have seen a shift in your marketing. Like what your marketing used to be maybe a year ago.
I didn't change anything, bro. You changed your mind.
Okay, that could be. But regardless, man, I appreciate it very much. And I've heard great things about you as far as guys that have gotten to know you personally.
And that's what changed, because I didn't change any. Trust me. Some other people said, wait a minute, you know what? I spent some time. I'll bet you this is what happened. I spent some time with the guy. I spent some time with Pete. I spent some time with Gary Brecka. I spent some time with Brandon Dawson. I spent some time with Jared. I went to his offices. I met him in San Diego. The guy's not what I thought he was after a 40-second Instagram story.
Yeah. Which is huge, by the way. Like, you know, because I'm not going to sell my soul for anybody. Right. Yeah, like, and so the fact that I'm on this call with you right now, it's me endorsing you based upon people that I love and care about and trust have endorsed you. So anyways, appreciate you being here. Look forward to getting to know you better.
But that's what the black community calls that receipts.
But let's talk about your unbreakable challenge. So
let's do this because look, we're doing a deal at the end of the month. It's going to be 1 million people on it. I hope all your audience comes. It's free. It's completely free. The first day I'm talking about, basically, I'm just going to do one pitch on this and you guys sign up or don't sign up, whatever you want to do. And then what I'd like to do is exchange value with your audience and not worry about the sign up. Okay. It's completely free. It's 5 days. You can come for 1 day, 5 days, all the days. You're literally going to get me for 5 days. I'm talking about the first day, how to set goals in 2023 that are 10 times bigger than anything you ever dreamed. You want to give away, Cody, you want to give away 250 million. I would set it up to where you're going to give 250 and we're going to raise 2.5 billion. Like I would 10x every dream and goal. That's all I ever do in my life. How do you get through a contraction? You got to think bigger and do more stuff, period. You cannot go into 2023 with the same mindset of 2022 or 21 or 20 and think that you're going to get bigger. You're not. Second day, we're going to handle marketing. Third day, we're going to handle monetization. How do you actually monetize it very quickly? So you don't have to spend 4 years in a sales cycle. You can actually start closing deals in 40 minutes. I've done that. I've taken very complex sales cycles and done magic with them for Fortune 500 companies. And then how to scale it, how to organize it. So it starts by March of this year, you're automatically making money. Okay. Like money has to become almost robotic. You should be able to wake up in the morning and have some money coming in. That is the goal. And they don't teach that at school. So that's what we're going to do for 5 days. If you guys want to come. I think the link is, I don't know. Do you have the link?
Yeah. So I have a link for my audience. It's VestRight.com/Cardone. Okay. Grant, let me explain real quick why I'm endorsing what you're doing here. Okay. The reason I'm endorsing what Grant is doing is because I have a widget. I have a business model that I teach, which is off-market raw land prospecting that has development potential, how to get that through the approval process and sell it, okay? That's a model, okay? And there's all different types of models out there. I don't care if it's apartment syndicating, so I don't care what it is. But here's the thing. We can teach the model, but there's still all these other things that Grant just talked about that you got to wrap the model in. Right? The model alone, you will get nowhere. You've got to learn sales. You got to learn communication. You got to learn mindset. You got to learn how money works. You got to learn how to get the hell out of the way of your business, how to build a leadership team so that your company can scale. The reason my company scaled 10x in the last 2 years is because I got the hell out of the way. Right? And so how to build that leadership team. And so Grant, I'm excited about what you're doing because people call it bacon wrap business or whatever you like to call it. Like they need all of this wrapped around the business model in order to truly be successful. Otherwise, the business model is just going to go like up on the shelf like every other course they've gone through.
You know what's crazy, dude, is people are like, I was doing something with somebody. I was actually with a big group. I can't tell you their name because I'm on an NDA, but it's a big deal, bro. Massive. One of the biggest players in my space. And I'm talking massive big, okay? And they're like, dude, are you a marketer or are you a real estate guy? And I'm like, well, clearly you don't understand that to be at this level, you have to market it. Because if I mention their name, you would know it. And 99% of your audience would know their name because they've been marketing themselves. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people that are in real estate don't understand that, for instance, If they don't know you, you're not getting that deal.
Yeah.
We're going to go into an economic cycle. I believe this is going to be the single best real estate opportunity in my entire lifetime, including 2008. And it might, in fact, dwarf 2008 by 10 times. This is going to be the biggest opportunity I've ever had, and it will affect land. It will affect development. It will affect current stabilized real estate apartments. It will affect single family homes, duplexes, fourplexes. Retail is going to get slaughtered. Tremendous opportunity. Office is already under attack. And if they don't know you, the problem with the cycle is when the cycle goes up and everybody's buying, right? You still got to be known here because you're competing against 23 other names. When the cycle flips the other way and goes down, they're not going to call you because they don't know you. And they're going to give the deal. The deal is going to be bought so cheap. But they're not going to call you because you have money. They're going to call you because they know you. So you have to learn how to market like a marketer. Like I remember the first time I saw Ty Lopez, on YouTube, and I hated what he was doing. Well, that's the first indicator that you should be doing something that you get a little repulsed by. I'm like, who's this?
I need more people to hate me, Grant.
Exactly. See, I already got that shit figured out, bro. I got hate on lock. Nobody, like, I'm one of the most unlikable people on the internet for whatever reason. I mean, then it's Andrew Tate, right? He's in jail. So, so the point is, the point is you got to get known. Number two, when you're buying something in this cycle, you can't adopt the position of a buyer. You need to adopt the position as a seller. You're selling the guy on picking you. You're not actually buying something. It's not about your terms. And this is why, look, we bought $4 billion worth, $3 billion worth of real estate that's worth $4 billion. So I'm sitting on $1 billion. We got $2 billion worth of debt, 2.2 billion. Real estate's worth easily $4 billion today, written down from 5.1. Cash flows like a pig. We did $50 million in distributions last year, 13 distributions. We send out money every month. See, I'm marketing right now. I'm telling a story.
I'm aware.
Yeah. So everything you do is a marketing. Everything you do, everything you accomplish should be marketed to the public so that people think, hey, what's that Cody dude's name? What's his name? Because they know you now, but they forgot you for a second.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in these cycles, most people, the number one error we see with all companies is nobody knows them. And maybe they buy some advertising dollars. I'm not talking about buying ad dollars. I'm talking about getting known. And it doesn't have to be Cody or me or you. It needs to be someone that's getting known for something. So that's what
Grant, another thing you just said right there that I want to hit on, what I've been talking a lot about related to 2023 is what worked from the crazy unsustainable market of 2020 to mid 22. You can't bring those expectations into this market. Okay. Those expectations are gone. Is that 2023 is not, in my opinion, a year to sit on your hands or run backwards in fear. I'm looking at 2023 as what I'm calling a gathering year. And I want to gather in two ways. One, I want to gather amazingly talented people for my team, because you can recruit more now than ever. There's amazingly talented people that you couldn't touch a year ago. Okay.
That's right.
Two is gather great projects, is because, everybody right now, you should be picking up great projects, obviously structuring them correctly, so on and so forth, pricing them correctly, but you need to be gathering. Now is the time to gather. And I think I kind of heard you touch on that.
Dude, people are asking me, like, when in the cycle are you going to try to buy stuff? I made an offer for $1.5 billion worth of real estate yesterday.
Yep. Love it.
So people are like, oh, I'm going to wait until the third quarter. You can wait as long as you want. You keep waiting, you won't get. If you keep waiting, you'll continue to want. So I 100% agree with you. This is what happens in every contraction. This is how I know for sure we're in a recession already, that the government denies. They deny it to the point to where they change the definition of it, because they want you guys in denial. They want your audience to deny that we have a problem. Well, February of last year, I had a $1.1 billion worth, and I'm an aggressive buyer. We had $1.1 billion worth of real estate under contract, and I let it all go. I have never let a deal go in my career. Once I put a deal under contract, I'm taking it down. I'm going to figure out some kind of way to take it down, even if it has to have some kind of price adjustment or we got to extend. But I have simply let one deal go in 30 years up until February. And there was fraud on that one deal. That's why I let it go. In February this year, while I'm known as this wild marketer in the real estate space, I'm known, hey, if he puts it under contract, he's buying the deal, period. Yeah. And that's a very, very important thing to be branded as, like he's a closer, absolutely, as you know. Yeah. In February, this was February 10th, was right before the world hadn't shifted violently yet. Yep. But there was news, there was Jeremy Powell was starting to threaten, right? So I let $1.1 billion, and we had non-refundable money on 2 of them. And I walked away from it. And the reason that's important is, and this is the takeaway for your audience, like when a contraction is taking place, when things aren't the same as they were, the first thing to do is assess your liabilities and your assets. What I thought was an asset, those 4 deals, had become a liability because of political agendas. So when they move from the asset to the liability column, I get rid of my liabilities. Yeah. Notice I've written down my portfolio already. Nobody, I guarantee somebody's going to pick this up now and do some clickbait video. Grant Cardone's written down his portfolio by $1 billion. Yeah, I sure did. I did it before you said I'd do it. So why would I do that? Because I don't care what the value of my portfolio is. Okay. I care about the cash flow of my portfolio. So I don't have anything. It's like I can tell right now, you're an extremely transparent, authentic person.
Thank you.
If SBF, if Sam Bankman-Fried had invested that $38 billion in real estate, he could have only stole like maybe $6 billion. He couldn't have stole it all. And that's the beauty about real estate. Real estate is real. And so recruiting people and projects right now, this is your moment. And the way you know that is the first 2 things that drop in a recession are advertising dollars. Those are already off almost 60%. And the second thing is layoffs. And you're starting to hear them from the biggest companies in the world. So good. And by the time the government or the media is telling you can start buying again, just know you've missed a lot of the opportunities. So that's why I'm saying gather now. And the goal is you'll come out the other side of this like a rocket ship, right? But you got to structure those deals right, because you can come out the other side of this like a snail too if you start gathering the wrong stuff, right? But as long as you're making good, educated decisions and you're projecting correctly, Grant, I love what you're saying. Can I just ask you one thing related to your Unbreakable Challenge, if you don't mind? Yeah, sure. Okay, so we talk about the sales, the marketing. What was that? It's not just for real estate people. It's for anybody that wants to grow. Like if you guys want to grow in 2023. That's what it's for. If you guys just want to keep doing what you've been doing, like if you're cool and you're satisfied, you're happy, don't come to this thing. It's a waste of your time. Yeah, and I'm saying regardless of my business model, regardless of real estate, any business model, whatever that widget is, you need these things in order for that to actually be able to do something with that model. But all the things that you're talking about Unbreakable, the biggest one that I would say that shifted my life and allowed the marketing and the sales and the communication and the scaling and all those things to happen, it all started with mindset first and foremost. Yeah. Grant, can you share just one thing or a couple things, whatever comes to your mind, as far as what has allowed your mindset to get to the place that it is, or what shifts did you make to allow you to do the things you've done? Really, I mean, Grant, you've exploded in recent years. There must have been some even additional shifts that you made in the last decade. Well, number one, spiritually, I'm in extremely good condition. So, if you're in spiritually good condition, you can do more. The only people that think they can't do more, and look, I know churchgoers that are in terrible spiritual condition. So, but I know I can do more. I know that I am capable of way more. It's got nothing to do with greed or dissatisfaction. I am dissatisfied. I'm divinely discontent. I know the God as I understand God, has endowed me with tremendous abilities. And as well as everybody else, by the way. You know, your whole audience, I don't need to meet them to know that every one of them could be a billionaire 10 times. Every one of them. I don't care where you're at in life right now. I am walking proof of that. I am not a special person. I have no special talents. You know, I don't have
to into your giftings.
Dude, we all have gifts. God gave us all a bunch of gifts, right? And most people just simply don't use them. The guy told me the other day, man, you're blessed. I'm like, yeah, bro, big deal. Everybody's blessed. Yeah. I'm proving it.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between me and you is I prove that I'm blessed. That's my payback to God. Like, hey, bro, thanks for the gifts. Watch what I'm gonna do with this stuff. And I'm a show off. I'm a show off. And I'm gonna show off that I'm doing great stuff. And I'm proud of it. And I'm not gonna hide it. And yeah, I own a jet. Okay. And people are like, oh man, why you gotta be dancing on your 650 ER? I got the same plane Elon Musk has. Okay. I never wrote a code in my life. I'm not some smart engineer. I'm not thinking about SpaceX and like, can't do any of that bullshit. Like, I don't know how to do I'm a common everyday guy that was raised by a single mom. And yeah, I own a Gulfstream 650 ER 2020 with 300 hours on it, 2 pilots. I keep it hangared. I go wherever I want, when I want. And I'm proud of it. And people hate on me because they're like, why are you taking pictures of yourself on your plane? I'm like, okay, so should I stop and go take a picture of myself in front of JetBlue? Like, well, I don't know what you guys want me to do. If you were rolling with me, I guarantee you, Cody, you'd be like, let's snap a shot before we get on the plane.
Yeah, you know, Grant.
Ridiculous. And everybody,
I
Cody,
feel like
this is the mindset. Okay, I want to say one other thing real quick. When I bought my first plane, I asked 7 people if I should buy a plane. I knew I shouldn't have asked them. It was stupid. And they all said, no, man, it's bad, including Ty. Ty, oh, no. Yeah, that's a terrible investment. I asked a billionaire, the guy had 4.4 billion liquid. And I said, should I buy a plane? He's like, 100% you should. Number one, you can. Number two, you can reach more people. Number three, your businesses, multiple businesses, you would be able to use it for. Grant, it's a no-brainer for you. Now he's worth 4 billion. I said, why don't you buy one? He's like, I don't need one.
Yeah.
So you got to have the money and you have to have the need. Now the 6 people that told me no, not one of them could buy a plane. The one guy that could, you see what I'm saying?
Grant, I have a personal story around a jet that I'm not going to talk about today.
No, you got to now. Now you got to.
But I'll say this: I probably asked the wrong people, right?
Exactly.
But you know what? This has been so good for me to spend a little bit of time with you because, you know, you're very flashy, bro. You're very flashy. But you know what?
Not really though.
You don't hide from it. You don't hide from it. Well, you understand my point. You're jet. Let's just talk about like people see it that way. And here's what though, just interacting with you here a little bit, I have a different view on it than probably I did just 20 minutes ago. Because you started with your spiritual life and your gifts. And what I gathered from what you said is you're being a steward. You have a responsibility with those gifts to go accomplish amazing things. And so you being on the wing of your jet is just you celebrating your spiritual life and that you're utilizing your gifts to the best of your ability. That's what you're doing, is you're celebrating.
Yeah. And that, by the way, that cover of that book, Be Obsessed or Be Average, me sitting straddling the jet of that G200, that was the first plane I bought. That was not my idea, by the way. That was the publisher's idea. And I thought it was a terrible book cover. I said, guys, I wouldn't do that if oh yeah, we love it. I said, okay, but it's stupid. I'm telling you, it looks dumb. And look, guys, everybody watching, you're like, I don't need a jet. If you're going to do anything big, you're just saying that because you've given up on the possibility of what you could be doing. Jesus, if Jesus was alive today, he would have a fleet of Gulfstreams. He would have his own television network. He would be doing what we're doing right now, collaborating with other people. He would not be flying on Southwest Airlines. Sorry. And I know, would he be taking pictures? Maybe. He probably would be taking pictures too and doing a tour. I don't know. In his sandals and his robe, he'd be like, you know, and you know, he'd probably do have some lighting on him. Like, why wouldn't you? if
Grant,
you
it's
have
so good. Good.
Yeah. So anyway.
So good, man. And I think let me say this related to your mindset, what I'm sensing from you. Because first thing when I asked about mindset, you brought up spiritual. And by the way, I'm a big spiritual guy as well. And I'm constantly putting my faith in the ring with everything else, fear being one of them. And I'll tell you what, faith will win every single time when you put it in the ring with any other feeling or emotion, right? And that's what first thing I asked, and you went spiritual. I talk faith over fear all the time, and it seems like, I mean, you're human, right? Like you're a dude just like the rest of us. I mean,
yeah.
But it seems like you've really tapped in spiritually, and it's allowed you to go to a whole nother level.
Action, man. I just take a lot of, I wrote this book called the 10X Rule, and the word action is not in the book one time. Somebody said, man, you must have written the word action in that book like 500 times. I said, no, actually, the word in the book is actions. There's never a time in the book where it's not a plural, because no single one action. See, I don't trust myself. Okay. I trust actions. Like I know that if I just do simply enough things and don't quit on those things, sooner or later it will work. It could even be the wrong thing, by the way, which I've done.
And oftentimes it is, right? Like
most of the time for me, I'm not even I'm just doing it wrong. But I know if I keep doing it, sooner or later, I'm going to catch something. Now, what we'd like to do is speed everybody up, so you guys don't have to make the mistakes. There's a Buddhist saying, an idiot can learn from his own mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes of others. And so that's 100%. What we're going to be doing this challenge, showing you what's working in marketing right now, what's not. I think we spend $50 million a year in marketing dollars.
Yep.
We've also last year, I spent $14,000 on marketing Cardone Capital. We raised $280 million last year on a $14,000 ad budget. Wow. So you don't have to spend money. You don't have to spend money to market. But you do need to be committed. You do need to be committed to expanding your brand, particularly through this recession. And I just want to warn your audience again, guys, the government is not telling you the truth right now. Okay. They are lying to you. I'm just telling you, I'm not maybe I am a conspiracy guy, but a conspiracy is when authorities actually are trying to do something fraudulently, not telling you the truth. We are in a contraction of major proportions, and it will affect your family. It will affect your business if you don't come up with a plan. It will affect your real estate. It will affect your employees. It will affect your household. It will affect your customer base. It's going to affect everything unless you come up with a plan to counter that. And I've been through 4 of these recessions. The last 2 I've benefited. The first 2 whacked me so hard. I was like, oh my God, I'm never coming back from this. And the last 2 turned me into who I am. Now I know how to play these things. And there's an actual playbook to expanding through contractions that we're going to be sharing later in the month.
So good. Grant, I thank you so much for your time. Is there anything, last thing you want to touch on before we close?
No, dude, I just want to meet more people like you and do more things with guys like you. You know, I could have a lot of fun with you. So, you need to teach me what an entitlement is. You need to teach me what a deed is, and a title. Because I still don't know.
We'll do that. Well, next time you talk to Kenny McElroy, ask him who knows entitlements better than anybody, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't say me. So with that, Grant,
dude, the fact that you have courage to buy land, man, that's just like, I mean, you must have a lot of faith.
Well, I do have a lot of faith, brother. But hey, tell you what, I will show you at some point, Grant, when we'll break some bread together or something. I'll show you how I play the land game and I take less risk than you do. I'll show you how I do that.
Let's go.
Right? I'll show you how I take less risk than you by being in the land game. But you got to know how it works, right?
Yeah. So hey, let's do, you're in Dallas?
I live in Paradise Valley, Arizona. So you just opened a an office here recently.
Yeah, let's get we'll get a meeting over there when I'm over there next time, and then I'll get your phone number offline, and
cool.
Let's get a meeting. Let me understand that, because look, I'll just tell you what my goals are. I'm gonna build a $50 billion real estate portfolio.
I love
I'm at 4 billion right now. I'm gonna build 50 billion. I might go to 100, but I'm either going to sell to a Blackstone or a BlackRock, or I'm going to become a Blackstone or a BlackRock. One of the two.
Grant, yeah, you and I need to spend some time together, because my goals aren't as big as yours, but they're very much similar as far as how you're thinking. And
they are.
I know I can learn a lot from you as well.
Your goals are as big as mine. Your goals are as big as mine. You just don't know it yet.
Yeah, it's really, we all have limiting beliefs, Grant. You have limiting beliefs too. You probably can go even bigger, and you're going to continue to push those limiting beliefs. I'm in the process of empowering myself to push my limiting beliefs, right? The fact that I want to have a $10 billion portfolio, right? The fact that I want to become a billionaire, like, these are things the Lord put on my heart, and it allowed me to push my limiting beliefs, right? Like, I never thought I wanted to be. I never thought I wanted that. But the Lord challenged me, I believe, to utilize my gifts. Dude, I'm a snot-nosed punk kid that got his high school girlfriend pregnant and went into the hard knocks of paying for my baby by going into the flooring union, dude. I got a similar, story. And man, we all need to be challenging ourselves to go bigger. That's why your 10X is foundational in your brand, because we need to start thinking that way. Yeah.
Well, just getting by isn't helping anybody. We live in one of the wealthiest countries on planet Earth. People travel across the planet to come here. And there's so many Americans not taking advantage of so many opportunities that we have here. Despite all the bullshit, the stuff that we have that's a problem in this country, all you guys got to do is go travel to 2 or 3 other countries, and you're going to see how good this deal is. And so good. Up until what happened earlier last year, the opportunity for the everyday person to own real estate in America, that door was closing down. I think it opens up again for 18 months, and then it shuts down permanently. You'll never have another chance to own part of American real estate after this next cycle. This is a redistribution of wealth. There's major issues that I'm going to be sharing with you when I'm in Arizona, when me and you meet. Major issues at top of the food chain that the everyday person can take advantage of.
So good. Or next time you're in Dallas, that's where my headquarters is and all my people. So either place, man. This will be good.
You put that headquarters in Dallas, but you live in Arizona?
Yeah, I'm on the board of my company. I own 100% of it, but I'm on the board at this point. I can cause chaos, right? And so I've humbled myself and realized the seat I needed to be in. I'm in the visionary founder seat. I'm not in the day-to-day trenches responsibilities. And that's what's best for my company. So,
got it.
But with that said, I can't encourage you enough. I don't care if it's my model or someone else's, right? And their buddy of mine, Brandon Turner, or it's his model, or it's Ken's. I don't care whose model it is. You can go have these models, but without all these things Grant's talking about, you can't do anything with the model, right? You need these additional tools to know how to execute on the model. Like Grant just talked about marketing. One thing about real estate is so old school as far as how people look at marketing. How has Grant turned into what he's turned into? The reality is because he understands the value of marketing plus these other things. It's a huge advantage Grant has over most, and I respect it tremendously. I appreciate your time, and I'm glad that I'm supporting you in this.
Yeah, appreciate you. You got that no cash flow stuff, huh, man?
Oh, you know what? That's probably one of my biggest failures. What was that?
You need to put in your bio big balls in.
Yeah. Well, Ken McElroy, he's one of my best friends, so I know the cash flow well. But I'll admit it's been one of my biggest mistakes in my career, and we decided to pivot on that and fix that. Which cap rates right now are helping me. Right. So what's happening right now in the market is helping me fix that problem. So
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have some big goals related to passive cash flow, our portfolio, however you want to look at it. The advantage we have is we have a model that generates a ton of capital, right? So I can, versus a lot of my buddies, as many of them that are syndicators, we have an opportunity where we can scale a bit quicker than them just because of our capital we have rolling in. But, Grant, I'm a big believer, and I know you buy mainly existing assets and a lot of A-class properties. I used to follow you on social, but I got out of social about 3 months ago and I don't miss it. But, so I have a good idea what you do, and, huge respect, man. If anybody knows how to market, you do. Pete Vargas is a good buddy of mine. So I'll be with Pete the next 4 days in his Wellspring mastermind. I don't know if he told you about that, but actually 10X Health, what's his name? Your guy, he's going to be here with us tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, yeah, so we have a lot of kind of mutual connections, but never connected ourselves. So I specialize in the dirt game, raw land that has development potential. And so I'm a big believer in whoever controls the dirt controls the deal. And so I can decide, I want to be involved in a deal with Ken or whoever. I can take a piece of the action by specializing in entitlements, right? So what I'm consider myself an expert in, which I don't consider myself an expert in many things, but I would say it'd be entitlements, right? So there's a specialty to entitlements and knowing how to play that game. And,
dude, I don't even know what that means. Like,
yeah. You know what? I hope we got that on the recording, because that's what most people would say, right?
Dude,
because it's not a taught space.
I hope you consider this part of the interview right now, because this is the part of the podcast or the interview that I like the most. The stuff that goes on before you say, okay, hey, welcome Grant Cardone, to introduce me and all the bullshit. But Ken, I told my team the other day, I said, look, we need to reach out to Ken and do more stuff with Ken. I did this interview that went terrible, and I think he thought I was trying to sell the audience. I'm like, bro, I raised $1 billion already in cash. Like, I don't need your audience to raise money. They already, by the way, your audience already knows what I'm doing probably anyway. But I don't know what a deed is. I don't know what a title is. I don't know what an entitlement is. I don't know any of this bullshit. I just know, and I've never bought a piece of land in my life.
Yeah.
But putting these synergies together, what you're doing, raising capital, the raw land piece, like, we need to figure out how to bring all this together.
I told Pete, because I've been doing it for 20 years. Here's the reality. Most people in real estate don't know. They've heard of entitlements, but they don't have a clue what it means or how to do it. Right. Yeah. So I just happened to stumble into it 20 years ago, and I made it my specialty, and it's blessed my life, blessed my family. Don't get me wrong. I went through the Great Recession, got spanked like most people. But anyways, it's a great tool. It's something I mentioned to Pete a few times that, you and I should connect, because I think we could take some of your tools, along with because we're nationwide. We have a headquarters in Dallas. We're in 10 states. And we're probably one of the largest privately held entitlement companies right now.
Oh, wow.
But we're always looking for more horsepower. And there's one thing Mr. Cardone can bring is some horsepower. So
let's go, man. We'll get a call after this to figure that out. Right. So,
all right, cool.
Because we're definitely going to expand our real estate education.
Yep.
So that's going to expand. And, my goals are extremely, what's the word when you have big goals? Ambitious. My goals are very ambitious about what we want to become. And certainly land at some point would include that. Development would be included in that, and other asset classes. So.
Yep. Cool, man. Well, hey, I a lot of times I've been told I'm crazy related to my visions. So I just need to get you around the people I'm around so they don't think I'm so crazy, because I'm sure yours are bigger than mine. But I just have a goal. I want to give away 250 million, and that drives everything else. So, but with that said, we started teaching it 3 years ago, man. So, and I think I'm the only one in the country teaching it. So,
let's go.
Cool.
Let's do it.